Yo, what's up? What's up? It's Dr. Little John from a G perspective. I wanted to touch a little bases with y'all. You know, I'm big on USALAMU is once again, it's Swahili for security, or do you have security? But it's really a concept. Concept is about security. It's about self-security. It's about securing the people whom you love and the things around you. USALAMU is it's a mindset. It's a lifestyle. It's a get down. It's the way you present yourself. It's the way you think. It's the way you observe surroundings and people around you. But I want to talk about the concept of USALAMU that is often, I want to talk about a portion of USALAMU that's separate from physical security. But I want to talk a little bit about securing your digital lifestyle. I want to talk your phone, that means your electric devices, that means how you receive and perceive communications. In this digital world, a lot of crime, a lot of victimization, a lot of falling prey is going to happen through some digital means or through something called social engineering. Social engineering is just basically gamemanship. Enhance when you add the digital element into it, because most people don't have any sense of USALAMU when it comes to their digital life. So I want to start out with a basic, and the basic is this: any communication that you receive from a source that would be considered important, whether your bank, financial institutions, insurance, just anything that you think may be important. When I say any communication, I'm talking about letters in the mail, I'm talking about emails, I'm talking about text messages, or any other form that's not direct. Do not contact the contact information that is on those letters if you have another way, or you've been using another way to contact that source. I'll make it simple. If you get a letter from your bank, don't assume that that letter is really from your bank. Fraudsters, scammers, hackers, they can recreate the document that looks exactly like the document that you may have gotten from your bank. And only thing they may do is they may replace the phone number with the phone number that they monitor. They could also slightly change the URL or the website address so that you'll actually go to a website that's called a spoofing website. It looks just like your banking website, but it isn't. And while you're inputting the information, if they're watching your actions on time right there as you're doing it, most of the time they're probably not. They're gathering the information for later, but sometimes they do that. Then they can literally be on the actual banking website filling out your information or filling out your passwords and doing whatever havoc or damage they need to do. So now you may say, well, how am I supposed to count? Well, okay, so once again, let's go back to that example. I deal with my bank. So usually if I'm dealing with my bank, you're dealing with your bank either through an app or your bank card has a phone number on it. So if I get a letter from my bank, if I get an email from my bank, I'm not going to hit the contact information on that letter. I'm not going to call the contact information on that letter. I'm going to use the form of communication, the highway that I've been using to contact my bank and ask them if there's issues or not. If you've been using your app, you can turn the app on. The app should give you some information pertaining to that letter if it is true. Pull out your bank card. There's a phone number on your bank card. Call that number. A lot of times when we talk about social engineering, well, they understand that people are often looking for the easy way. They know that if they send out, X amount of number of these letters, that majority of the people aren't going to respond in the way that they want, because maybe they've only changed the phone number and they've got somebody either monitoring the phone call or they're monitoring the phone call, ready to act like they're your bank and have you give over some pertinent information. And it could be any communications with anyone that's important. Now, as far as when it goes to your family, of course, there are certain means that you may use to communicate with your family, outside of phones, social media, and so forth. So have some code words that you can use when someone else may be contacting you in lieu of a loved one. So they automatically know to say this, this code where, hey, your people told me to get at you. Here's the code word, whatever, family love, or, be diligent when you're receiving communications, and those communications require you to respond back, and they give you information on the letter or whatever, email or whatever. Do not click on any of that. If it's an institution, or if it's something that you already have a line of communication with, then use the line of communication that you've been using to contact those sources. And if you just incorporate that, or at least keep that in the back of your mind when and if those types of documents are sent to you or solicited, you're solicited through those forms of social engineering. Speak about this because this is an attack that is prevalent with older people, with seniors, with people who aren't very tech savvy, people who don't pay attention to detail. Oftentimes, hackers will send you to a website that looks just like the website you're supposed to be going to, but maybe the website, instead of it saying Bank of America dot whatever, it says Bank dot America, then .com or whatever Bank of America's website name is. Or it could be, it could be another. There could be two periods in what they call the URL, which is the address that, when you say HTTP www, well, that's the URL. So they could have two periods somewhere in there, where the normal website only has one period. And they know that most people don't pay attention to detail. Here are two examples. And so they'll miss that. And so now they're putting their information onto a website that looks like the website they're supposed to be on, but isn't. And don't think that when someone's hacking or social engineering you, that they have to receive or get all the answers immediately. They may have several different sources that they're using to social engineer data information from you. It's not always just a one action event. It may be a series of actions that lead up to them having an accumulated knowledge of you to, at that point, do whatever nefarious attack they're trying to do. And understand, it's not always about money. Sometimes it's about information, data. Sometimes it's about, impersonating you, or there's a whole host of reasons or why you could be set up to be attacked or to be socially engineered. It could be just a data breach, and then they need more information to do what they're trying to do. They could assume that you're an easy or an ignorant Vic. I'll be talking about and instituting more things like this, along with the mental mindset and some physical mindsets of what encompasses USALAMU. Anyway, this is Dr. Littlejohn from a G perspective. Peace. I'm out.